Alrighty, students, it is Monday, March 23rd, maybe? I don't know, I can't remember. Maybe it's 22nd. But anyway, it is Monday, and today we're going to be talking about physical activity. For my 7th graders, you might remember that we already have these notes, but that was 2 weeks ago when we went over it, so I'm going over it again so we start fresh and we can remember where we left off, alright? So, physical activity. Why is it important? Other than the typical answer, it improves your health, you're going to have to know how it improves your health. So I'm going to start off by telling you 11 things that it improves. Number 1, it improves your risk of cardiovascular disease. Meaning, if you remember from body systems, cardiovascular, meaning the heart, veins, and arteries. So the vascular system is your vein, your arteries, your capillaries. Cardio usually refers to the heart. How do we work out the heart? What physical activity works out the heart? Well, running. I'm sure when you run and you're sprinting or you're jogging, you can feel your heart pumping. That's why they call it cardio, because it works out the heart. So, cardiovascular risk is reduced, or cardiovascular disease is reduced when we exercise. So what that means is when you're exercising, working out your heart, you're less likely to have things like heart attack, blood clots, high blood pressure. All these things go down with physical activity. Number 2, reduces your risk of type 2 diabetes. Diabetes is a disease in which you cannot properly digest blood sugars for several reasons. So when you exercise, your cells are able to use blood sugars a lot better. So what does that mean? Well, sugar is what gives us energy. And if you can't use the sugar, you can have too much, called hyperglycemia, but that's a little bit too much for you. But anyway, when you exercise, you're less likely to get diabetes. Diabetes is usually a consequence from lack of exercise or somebody who was born with diabetes. You can be born with it, but also later in life you can develop it with lack of physical activity. 3, reduces high blood pressure. So high blood pressure means that the pressure inside your veins and arteries is very strong, and it could possibly rip or tear one of the arteries or veins in your body. So our body has like tubes running through it that carry our blood. So let's imagine that this is the tube. When we need more blood to flow, the tubes open up and they close. So your blood vessels can actually open and close, or expand and contrast a little bit. When you exercise, they're really good at doing this because they've been worked out. It's like a rubber band. However, when you don't exercise, they don't get used to opening and closing. So they're more likely when you start running and your heart starts pumping, they're like stuck and they don't open. And that puts a lot of pressure on the arterial walls or the tubes, and it could cause a rip or tear. 4, reduces the risk of high blood pressure. So if you exercise, you're less likely to have high blood pressure. Some people have high blood pressure because they're born with it, their diet. But you can reduce that with exercise, but if you exercise, you're less likely to get it also. That was number 4. Number 5, reduces the risk of developing cancer. When you exercise, you improve your immune system. When your immune system goes up, you're not likely to develop diseases like cancer. Very strong immune system is able to beat off the things that would cause cancer, and it's not going to be likely to happen. 6, reduces feelings of anxiety. When you exercise, you get blood flow to the brain. This releases chemicals. These are things that reduce anxiety, make you happy, less likely to suffer depression. Exercise is one of the best things for making people happy. That's why you see Mr. Brando happy every day. He didn't work out this morning, but I'm happy every day when I come to school. Kind of not happy now, but we'll get there. 7, helps control weight. When you exercise, you obviously burn calories, and when you burn calories, that's the way your body uses energy. And when your energy when you're burning all that energy, if you burn more than what you bring in, you're going to lose weight. So the way it works is it pulls from the fat, it takes the energy from the fat, and it burns it down. So if you exercise, you can reduce your weight. Now, you can also over-exercise, and if you over-exercise, instead of burning some of the fat, you might actually tear down muscle. So it's very important that you have a good balance. 8, helps build and maintain healthy bones, muscles, and joints. So if you want healthy bones, muscles, and joints, you need to exercise. Well, obviously, how do you get healthy muscles? You can lift weights, carry things, do things that stress the muscles. How do you get healthy bones? Same thing. by carrying weight and stuff, we stimulate the bones to get a little bit stronger and denser. You'll notice that as you get older, your bones get thinner. This is called a disease. Usually, it's a disease called osteoporosis. You can help reduce your risk of osteoporosis by exercising because it keeps the bones nice and dense. 9, helps you move better in old age. You know, when you get older, it's harder to walk, it's harder to move. I'm sure if you've seen your grandparents, some of your grandparents may struggle to move. Others of you, your grandparents are probably out there walking miles. And usually it's because they've had a healthy lifestyle throughout their life and they exercise. And when I say exercise, I don't mean your grandpa's running 100-meter sprints, doing downy backs and running suicides. No, he's just getting out walking. So exercise is relevant to how old you are. Obviously, the type of exercise you can do as a kid is not the type of exercise you can do when you're older. So like my grandfather is 90-something years old. He still gets up and walks. And that's exercise for him. That's hard for him. For me and you, we take that for granted, but that's good exercise for when you get older. So exercise is also relevant to how old you are. And if you want to be able to move when you get really, really old, you have to start exercising now and keep a level of healthy exercise, whether that be walking in the park or something like that. 10, promotes psychological well-being, meaning that when you exercise, it makes you feel good about yourself. I mean, I remember when I took the 8th graders up to the first time in the weight room, some of you guys were starting to lift and you're like, oh my God, my arms are looking big. It was day 1 and it was funny to watch, but a lot of you feel good when you exercise, and it's because when you exercise, it promotes, oh, I'm feeling good about myself, and that's just because of the chemicals released in your brain. 11, stimulates the brain. So there's studies that actually show that when you exercise, you're a little bit smarter. And what I mean by that is like, no, you don't become Stephen Hawking by exercising. When you exercise, blood goes to the brain, it stimulates the brain is awake and alert, and when the brain's awake and alert, you're able to learn more. So if you're sitting at home and you're a person that likes to stand up and walk around as you listen to YouTube, like that'd probably be really great for you. You have the opportunity to get up, walk around, listen to YouTube, and actually learn with activity, something that you might not have in the classroom. So this could be a benefit to you, okay? So what kind of activity do we need? Well, you want to be able to do it while talking but not singing. And some of you might be confused, so I'll go into further detail. The activity is not hard enough if you can do it while singing. So when Mr. Mirando's walking back and forth in his house, if he can sing, that's not really good physical activity. It's not hard enough. It's not stressing my heart enough. However, if I start jogging, it becomes a lot harder to sing. I can't sing without so that's good activity. But if I can talk while jogging, I may have to take a breath in between, but I can talk while jogging. That means you've hit a moderate level activity. There's low, moderate, and high levels of activity. So if you can do it talking, but you can't sing, you're at the perfect level of activity. Now, some of you are like, well, what if I'm running sprints at football? I can't even talk during that. Well, if you're running sprints at football and you can't talk, you've gone beyond moderate activity and you're actually at the high level of activity. That's still good for you, but if you're just trying to stay healthy in something, you don't need to be way up here. You can go ahead and be at a moderate level of activity. So if you can talk while doing it, but you can't sing, that's good activity. Some examples are jogging, biking, badminton, and treadmill walking. So, some things that you need to know. FITT. And what is FITT? FITT is how you design a workout. So some of you, you're 7th and 8th graders, you're not going to be totally designing workouts. You usually do what your sports teams tell you. I know the track team has uploaded their workouts, and Mr. Durando has written a very specific workout and attached YouTube videos, so all my throwers better be looking at that. But FITT is how you design a workout. Frequency, intensity, time, and type. That's what FITT stands for. Frequency, intensity, time, and type. So frequency is how often you're going to work out. Well, are you going to work out 2 days, 3 days a week, 4 days, 5 days? Whatever it is. How often are you going to work out? Intensity. How intense are the workouts going to be? Well, when you're weight training, you change intensity by changing the weights. Are you going to throw 200 pounds on the bar or 100 pounds on the bar? Whatever it is, that's how you change the intensity. If you're running, am I running full sprint? Am I jogging? Am I doing a mile in under 10 minutes or am I doing it in under 20? You can change it that way. Time. How long is it going to last? Include breaks. So when you lift, are you taking a 2-minute break in between or are you taking like a 5 to 10 minute break in between? Are you running for 20 minutes? Or are you running for an hour? Okay, type, what will you be doing? Are you lifting legs? Are you lifting arms? Are you running? Are you doing some type of agility work where you're jumping upstairs? So that's just basically what you're doing. Frequency, intensity, time, and type. Obviously, this is not going into the level of detail that I normally teach with, and some of you might be confused, which is expected at this point. So if you have any questions, email me. I'm going to upload this. I'm also going to try to use this area right here to put the things I'm talking about and write them so you can see them on here as you're listening to me, so you don't have to look in the description. So I'll be trying to figure that out. No homework. I don't want to overload you on this first day. So that'll be it for today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do your other work in your other classes.